Again, welcome to Jack Slayter Notes. Like, share, and subscribe, and everything. Okay, so we are continuing child development pedagogy for student section. This is the last paper. This is paper 1, paper 2. Sorry, we already did paper 1 of February 7, 8, and March 1st. This is paper 2 of we already did March. Sorry, February 7 and February 8 of paper 2. This is March 1st paper. Child development and pedagogy section, 30 questions, 30 marks. Let's continue. Question number 1. An effective strategy for solving ill-defined problem is focusing on functional fixedness. Nope. Means and analysis. Not really. Effective is no. When you say focusing on functional fixedness, that is not correct. The effective way of implementing is means and analysis. Yes. Question number 2. Which of the following set of qualities characterizes critical thinking? Ability to question? Yes, true. Wait a second. Which of the following set of qualities characterizes critical thinking? Ability to question, ability to self-react, ability to test previously held assumption, ability to think convergently. So convergently is wrong. You have to think divergently. So 1, 2, and 3 is 3. Yes, 3, 1, 2, and 3 is the answer. Question number 3. Which of the following statement about the role of heredity and environment in the development of a child is correct? Option 1. While heredity contributes in unfolding of child's characteristic traits, the entirety of a child's development is solely based on environmental factor. Not really. Wait a second. No, maybe it's true. While heredity contributes unfolding of child characteristic traits, the entirety of child's development is solely based on environmental factors. Wait a second. While heredity provides genetic blueprint for an individual's development, the expression of those genes can be influenced by the environmental factor. That is true. Okay, both heredity and birth contribute 50%. No, it's not 50%. It's different. It's some 30, some 70, some 60, some 40. Dispositions are linked with environment factors, but actual development occurs on the basis of heredity. Not really. False. Question answer is 2 is correct. Like we said, while heredity provides the genetic blueprint of an individual's development, the expression of those genes can be influenced by environmental factors. Number 1 is also a bit true, but with this sort of question you have to go for one that is more correct than the others. Question number 4. Arpita and Anu give their book to each other since both consider it as equal exchange of favors. At which level of Kolbe moral development theory are Arpita and Anu? So that is about give me yours, tit for tat kind of situation. So it has to be heteronomous. Wait a second. Yes, heteronomous. Oh, it's talking about Colbert's moral development, so it has to be heteronomous. Yes. Question number 5. Given below are two statements. Wait a second. Yes, equal exchange is tit for tat. Heteronomous level. Question number 5. Given below are two statements, one marked as assertion and the other as reason. Read the statement and choose the correct option. Assertion: when unable to make meaning, efficient readers slow down and reread the text, clarifying confusion before continuing further. That is correct. Reason: metacognition hinders the process of meaning. Both are not here close. So the answer assertion is true, but reason is 100% totally false. Yes. Question number 6. Which of the following sets describe ways in which a school should be inclusive? Modification of curriculum as required. Sure. Expecting students to totally adapt to the school culture. You cannot expect that. Fostering an ethos of care and respect. That is correct. Opportunities for collaborative learning. That is also correct. So the answer should be 1, 3, and 4. 2. You cannot really adapt student to your overall thinking or vision. Question number 7. Which of the following statement about socialization is correct? Socialization cultivates shared source of meaning and value. Maybe. Of course, socialization is culture independent and context neutral. Socialization happens only during childhood. Wrong. Norms and beliefs cannot be acquired through socialization process. That is also wrong. So answer is 1 as always is correct. Socialization cultivates shared value of meaning and value. So this paper is a bit easy. Question number 8. Role of a teacher in reciprocal teaching is characterized by a shift from being a support and guide towards gradual release of responsibilities to the students. You cannot say that. Being a mere recipient of the suggestion given by the students, not entirely. The position of dominance and sole authority of disseminate the information to students, false. His her position of being passive observer throughout the process. So that is the also wrong. A shift from being supportive and guide towards gradual release of responsibility to the student is the correct answer. That is all about reciprocal studying, when you shift your positions and educational power. Question number 9. An assessment approach aiming to support students' learning is characterized by consideration of method of solving the problem along with the outcome, focus on inaccuracies only while ignoring the process and endeavors, exam done at the end of the year through objective type questions or evaluation and marking based on standardized quiz based test. Answer is of 1. Consideration of method solving problem along with the outcome. Question number 10. Which of the following is an effective strategy I always Which of the following is an effective strategy of emotional regulation? Channeling emotion to use them as a source of inspiration and creative endeavors. That is the only effective strategy. The others doesn't stand a chance with this answer. Waiting until emotion escalate. Nope. Reacting impulsively to emotion triggers. False. Suppressing emotion. That is also false. So the answer is 1. Channeling emotions to use them as a source of inspiration and creative endeavors. Question number 11. Learning about a concept / theory is easier if previous knowledge about the concept is not activated. Wait a second. No, that is not. Concept is represented in abstract and complex. That is also false. Familiar examples are provided while introducing the concept. That is the only correct answer. So answer is familiar examples are provided while introducing the concept. Question number 12. According to John Piaget, what is the role of symbolic thoughts in cognitive development? Symbolic thought develops after cognitive development is complete. Symbolic thought impacts cognitive development only in children with language delay. Symbolic thought causes mental confusion and hinders cognitive development. Symbolic thought facilitates cognitive development by allowing for mental process like process problem solving. The answer is symbolic thought facilitates cognitive development by allowing for mental processes like problem solving. Yes. Question number 13. Which of the following typical characteristics of a child is a child struggling with dysgraphia likely to show? Aggression, frustration, stress, impulsivity, difficulty in concentrating and forgetfulness, slow in written work, make poorly for letters, has difficulty copying from blackboard, withdrawal, guilt and anxiety. So when is here dysgraphia is all about a learning disability related to writing. So as the three options say, slow in writing has to be the answer. Slow in writing, makes poorly from word, has difficulty copying from blackboard. Yes. Question number 14. A teacher is providing learners with the chance to be exposed to and analyze concept in order to help them understand the content through her support. This is an example of guided discovery. Of course, when you say exposed to analyze concept, people will say exposed, that must be expository teaching. No, that is called guided discovery. Answer is guided discovery. Question number 15. Which of the following statement is correct about gender development in contemporary times? Gender is purely and solely determined by an individual anatomy at birth. Gender exists on a binary concept. One is either male or female. Gender identity is influenced by cultural conception. Gender identity is not influenced by socialization. Okay, nowadays when we talk about gender, that is gender identity is influenced by cultural conception. That is also, but when it says contemporary times, all right. But if you see biologically terms, gender exists on a binary concept. One is either male or female. That is the true. Is either one is male. But nowadays, gender is influenced by cultural conceptions. which is totally wrong. Question number 16. Which of the following hinders problem solving? Option 1, breaking down large complex problem into manageable smaller problem. That doesn't hinder problem solving, that encourage problem solving. Fixating on single trait of a composite problem, that hinders problem solving. Applying calculative history, that doesn't hinder it. Engaging a solution which is effective in solving a similar problem area, that might be true, but fixating on a single trait of a composite problem is the worst way of it hinders problem solving. Yes. Question number 17. Activities which are that are detrimental to students motivation to learn, are moderately difficult for students, are detrimental student motivation to learn, connect with real life students. So when you say connect with real life students, but detrimental is a negative word. Activities which are aim at intangible goal decided solely by teacher. Now that is when you decide motivation and whatever by teachers eyes and not children, you force that on teachers and you force that on your students, and that is totally wrong, because children have to do his own share of meaning making of his own learning. So that is the wrong answer. Question number 18. Following Lev Vygotsky is ideas on learning, a teacher should encourage students to continually compete with each other, false, prevent integration, capitalism, dialogue, discourage verbalization, thinking aloud, loud. Lev Vygotski's idea of learning, a teacher should prevent integration of cultural knowledge in discussions, encourage students to continue to complete with each other, capitalize on dialogue and group learning during activities. That should be the answer. Capitalize on dialogue and group learning during the activities. Question number 19. Ronberg gave importance to dash in the course of development and learning. Options: exam centric pedagogy. He never really did talk about that. Conditioning of behavior, children maturation and readiness to learn. That is the correct answer. Ronberg gave importance to children maturation and readiness to learn in the course of development and learning. Question number 20. Given below are two statements, one marked as assertion and the other as reason. Read the statement and choose the correct option. Assertion: teachers should ensure enough wait time, which is the length of time a teacher pause after asking a question. Reason: diversity is necessary and not an absolute. Wait a second. Diversity is an asset, not an absolute, is true. And the teachers talking about wait time, that is also true, but that doesn't really match. They are completely different from each other. So both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Question number 21. Given below are two statements, one marked as assertion and the other as reason. Read the statement and choose the correct option. Children learn most efficiently when they are criticized frequently for their mistake. That is completely false and utter bullshit. Frequent criticism makes children self-reliant, which doesn't improve their academic performance. No, you cannot really criticize students. Both A and R are false. Yes. Question number 2. Inclusion of students' belongingness to disadvantaged backgrounds requires identity-based segregation of students. No. Consideration of sociocultural diversity. Well, that is looking fine. Consideration of socio-cultural diversity. Yes. Question number 23. Contemporary theorists believe that childhood is a life stage that is awaiting adulthood, a stage associated with divinity, purity and goodness. Now here's the thing, a stage associated with divinity, purity and goodness, that is actually true, right? But a contemporary theorist believe a childhood is variable and dynamic. They should believe that. Question number 4. But it also a stage associated with divinity, purity and goodness. If a normal people says, but we are talking about theorist, is variable and dynamic. Question number 24. Given below are two statements, one marked assertion and the other reason. Read the statement and choose the correct options. Assertion: a middle school language arts teacher selects stories and clipping from newspaper and magazine that portray men and women in non-traditional roles. That is a good way to do that. While the reason is countering prevalent gender stereotypes by presenting other models is an effective way to overcome gender bias. That is also correct. When you said a woman is a doctor, woman is a pilot, not just man, and the man is a chef that is cooking in the kitchens, that helps challenge gender stereotypes. So both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Question number 25. The process of bringing back The information stored in memory to current state is called retrieval. That's when you retrieve something from storage to the current memory. Question number retrieval is answer. Question number 26. Which of the following statement about classroom assessment is correct? Use of norm reference assessment that compare performance of the student to the peers motivate students to learn more meaningfully. Not really. Focus of assessment should be paper pencil rather than written behavior or maintain objective. No, formative assessment should include tasks which inform teacher about what students know about the concept before they begin. Sure, summative assessment does not serve any purpose and should not be undertaken since the process is more important than the final learning outcomes. The answer is of course C, the sure one. Formative assessment should include tasks which inform teacher about students know what students know about the concept before they begin teaching. Question number 27. Given below are two statements, one marked as assertion and the other reason. Read the statement and choose the correct answer. Assertion is adaptation such as audio tapes, use of computer software which provides text to speech input, extended time to complete assignment, facilitates learning for students who are visually challenged. Okay, teachers should adapt the curriculum to provide equity and meet the needs of diverse learners. Both A and R are true and R is the correct answer. That is a simple question. Too easy. Question number 28. Given below are two statements, one marked as assertion and the other reason. Create the statement and choose the correct option. Adolescents assertion is adolescents have difficulty with emotion regulation and inhibit their impulses and quite susceptible to peer pressure. That is correct. Say, physiological and hormonal change during adolescence impact their behavior of the very reducible. That is also correct. Both A and are correct and are the correct explanation of A. Those are really easy questions. Question number 29. Gifted children excel in all academic as well as co-curricular areas. Well, surely exhibit high cognitive abilities as well as skill of social communication. Not entirely true. Get distracted easily and have low concentration spell. That's false. Absorb information quickly and accurately. Of course that is also true. Yes, absorb information quickly and accurately, but they also, the number one is excel in all academic as well as co-curricular areas. They might be, but more correct answer is absorb information quickly and accurately. Question number 30. Which of the following statement about language and cognition is not correct as per Lev-Vygotski's theory? Language development hinders cognitive development. What? That's not true. Inner speech is used for mental reason. That is correct. Language inevitably affects the way a child thinks. I don't think so. External speech is used to converse with others. Of course, that the way. The first was the question asked for. Ask which of the following statement about language and cognition is not correct. Okay, the not correct one is I think there's a chance of 3 or 1. Oh, wait a second. Oh, we forget about that. Is the most negative one. 3 maybe, inevitably. It says so inevitably. Why not? But language development hinder cognitive development. Why would that happen? Language development encourages or helps cognitive development. So that is completely wrong one. So the answer is language development hinder cognitive development. And there we are at the end of 30th questions. That is the end of paper 2 that we started a bit earlier with the 7th 18th. That is March 1. That is the exam. Normally people would think that re-exam would be the hardest one, but it was the easiest paper I think compared to the February 7th and February 8th. So we got what March 1st paper 2, and we are done with pedagogy. PYQ, not PYQ, it's same year. SYQ, same year questions. SYQ, that is funny. Yes, so SYQ or whatever. So now we'll start social studies. SYQ this same year question year. TYQ this year question paper. For February we will do SST for February 7, 8 and March 1. There is going to be 3 paper because CDP we did paper 1 and paper 2, but SST doesn't appear in paper 1. We only have to do paper 2. So we are going to do more 3 of these videos. We already did 6 videos of CDP and we are going to do 3 videos of SST or social science or social studies. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe to our channel. Slayter Notes. Study hard and work smart. and goodbye, and have a nice day, and support us and everything, and study really good. It is all right. Goodbye guys, have a nice day.